Welcome to Blockbuster Buff's 5-minute summary. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is a segment on a podcast. But today we're talking about Crazy Stupid Love, which came out in 2011 as our boys Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Julianne Moore, Emma Stone, Leo Tipton, and written by Dan Fogelman and directed by Glenn Ficarra. Joe, who's starting this one? How are we doing it?
I can start us off.
All right. Well, with
Let's
this
get after it.
segment,
Give me
we
that
put
countdown.
5 minutes on the clock, and roughly every minute we go ahead and switch back and forth. So we got 5 minutes starting in 3, 2, 1.
Boom. Movie starts out with a sexy John Legend song playing through our ear holes as couples in a fancy restaurant having dinner. We pick up on the vibes that they've been married for years, long time. They're a comfortable couple. Steve Carell doesn't know what he's going to eat for dinner. And he's like, hey, babe, let's count down 3, 2, 1, what we want to eat. And she says, I want a divorce. So he shuts down, doesn't know what to do with himself. They have to drive home together. He gets all pissed off and rolls out of the car, gets all hurt. They go back home to find the babysitter hanging out with their 2 kids. They've got a 13-year-old and like a 7-year-old. And it's just a total meltdown. From there, Steve Carell leaves and goes to live in an apartment. But in the meantime, he starts going to this bar. And at this bar, he meets Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, he's basically sitting at this bar just like being sad. I call this section Sad Dad Time. He keeps talking about David Lindhagen, who is the person who slept with his wife and made a cuckold out of him, as he continues to say. And there's also during Sad Dad Time, he's at work and they know he's crying and they like think he has cancer. His boss knocks on the door and he's like, "Oh, how do you know we're getting a divorce?" He's like, "Oh, don't worry, everybody. It's just a divorce. Man, you could have had cancer. It could have been so much worse." And he says, "I'm so lucky." It's hilarious. But anyway, so he's at this bar, he's, having Sad Dad Time, and Jacob whistles at him and calls him over and beckons him to say, "Where'd you lose your manhood? Because I'm going to help you find it, Cal. I'm going to help you find it." And that's kind of where we get to the scene that we heard at the beginning. But meanwhile, we see this other person, Hannah, talking to her friend Lizzie about her stupid boyfriend. He's stupid. Back to Ryan Gosling and what's his face getting their manhood back.
Cal. So Ryan Gosling takes Cal on this whole renewal of his outfit, of his wardrobe. They go shopping. They go on a big old shopping spree. He gets a haircut. He gets all new suit, shoes, where he basically starts teaching him how to pick up chicks. And at first, Cal sucks, doesn't know what he's doing at all. He has only ever been with one woman, his wife, and he's trying to figure out how to get back out in the dating scene.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. His first attempt, after he kind of gets like taught how to do it, he's a very big like jerk to this lady, but he finally just breaks down and be super honest, and she loves it. But on the side here, we have the babysitter's in love with him, and his son is in love with the babysitter, and he doesn't know about either of these things. But he's starting to pine after his wife, and so you see like scenes of him. He goes back and like takes care of the yard secretly at night, so that way David Lindhagen doesn't go do it. And then he talks to his son about love, and Robbie's kind of disappointed because he didn't fight for his wife. He just, basically said, "You want a divorce? You can have a divorce. I'll do whatever you want. Just don't talk to me about this anymore." And, it makes sense with the whole thing going on, but he really, kind of gave up on that. So he tries to make things kind of right with his wife. He's kind of flirting with her. And then they go to the parent-teacher conference, and this is where he meets that first lady who was a real big jerk to, who's his son's teacher. And she goes insane, and the wife finds out that he's been basically being a big slut and, just picking up chicks all the time. And she is so hurt and offended by the whole thing that now we have 1 minute left to explain everything that happened to Jacob and Hannah.
Okay, so while all this has been going on with Cal, Jacob has been starting to see this girl, Hannah, and Hannah has a boyfriend who's a lawyer, but she's not so sure about him. At one point, she thinks he's going to propose, and then he just asks her to be part of their firm, and she's super disappointed, breaks up with him, and then she immediately goes over and convinces Cal to take her home. But when she goes home, Cal usually has his moves he plays to get women to bed. But when he tries this, he comes to find out that Hannah her. So they start seeing each other, and then by a turn of events, Cal and Julianne wind up going to have a dinner party. Kind of Cal and Hannah show up, or Jacob
Yeah,
and
Jacob and Hannah show up.
Hannah.
Oh yeah, Cal's furious, big fist fight breaks out, and then they kind of just like, I don't know, make up a little bit. Everything kind of ends fairly tentatively, but Cal gives Jacob some level of his blessing, and he's flirting with his wife again.
Oh boy,
We missed a lot in that, Joe.
we did. Oh,
We're a little
there's
rusty, you know. I got
oh,
bogged down in the weeds. I think that this
there's
is a little bit mostly on me, honestly. I kind of got in the weeds on that one.
I mean, there's a lot going on. There's like two complete different stories going on. Also, Matt, my camera just shut off on me.
Oh no.
I don't know how it's possible. How do I have full storage? Okay, how do we want to do this?